Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Bobby and I'm really glad you're here. I kind of glammed up my whimsical garden space a little bit for fall this year. I don't normally do that and plant up fall annuals or as many fall annuals as I have done this year. I thought you might like to take a look around and see what I've done, but first I want to cut some paniculata hydrangeas to put on the table back here on the faux porch. So let's do that and then we'll take a look around. Okay, I had this laying over here on the building, so we'll just use this. I think it'll work great. I did plant up a couple cute little fall, I call them vignettes. I'm not sure that that's the right word, here in front of my greenhouse. And these are just sitting on top of this raised bed planter here. Those pumpkins I grew. I only got 4 of that particular variety of pumpkin. The only edible fall crop, other than I think you can eat pansies, I'm growing this year is lettuce. So I'm growing a couple of times. I usually grow, sometimes I grow peas, sometimes I grow broccoli in the autumn time and the fall time, but this year just doing lettuce. And I did another cute little vignette here of fall flowers. I'm not a huge lover of mums. I do love the colors of mums, but I prefer marigolds. So they do a little bit, they reflower a little bit better for me. And here are the other 2 larger pumpkins. I'm going to let my youngest grandson pick out whichever one of these he wants. He wants to draw a face on one of them. So these 2 beds will get larkspur. I think I'm going to do larkspur in these 2 beds and go ahead and sow the seed sometime this week. I'll go ahead and put a little bit of water, just a couple inches in here, and so that the hydrangeas can do the evaporation method. And that way, whoop, there's a bug crawling on my camera. Hold on. Okay. Anyway, so that way the hydrangeas the water can evaporate slowly and the hydrangeas can stay hydrated as they are drying. Not really necessary, but that's just the thing I do, so. I think we'll go ahead and cut a couple off of this shrub here. These, believe it or not, are Little Lime paniculata hydrangeas from Proven Winners. I don't need that many blooms because I don't have that much space there on the little table. And I usually just cut at a node here. You can see the nodes on the stem, the different nodes. If you cut right at a node, above a node, then you're fine. But they are so forgiving and so tough. You really can't go wrong with what you do with these paniculatas. You can smash the stems. Anything you do to cause them to take up water a little better is a good thing when you're cutting them. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll just set these on the little table there on the faux porch. Let's go ahead and set the flowers on the porch, and then I'll turn the camera around and you can kind of look at everything that I've done. Aw, that looks cute. I like it. While we are right here at the porch, I'll show you what I've done for fall. If you remember from any of my other videos, my son-in-law and husband built this for me on Mother's Day some time ago, quite a few years ago. And it's looking a little worse for the wear, but still, it's a really fun feature for this garden. Of course, my ever-present hoe leaning up against the wall there. But I bought these banners, or this banner, from Hobby Lobby, and then I bought this type of garland from Hobby Lobby. This one here, these little flags I had bought a couple years ago off of Etsy. And this adorable little truck here, it actually lights up, but I think I have to pick it up and turn it over to turn the light on. And I put a few of my mini pumpkins that I had grown. So there's the little bouquet. We just needs to be fixed a little bit. Oh, I'll have to work on that. Anyway, that looks kind of cute there. I like that. And we do come out here and sit in these chairs. My husband loves to sit out here. And so we do come out and sit in these chairs quite often. And these pumpkins, my grandson grew, my middle grandson. I think they are pronounced Jardel, the blue ones. And then this one is a winter squash here. And these I bought. We did not grow these little gourds, but he grew these pumpkins, and I went shopping in his pumpkin patch and had a lot of fun doing that. And he's 10 years old. I don't think I love this flag here, although it goes with the pillows here on the faux porch. I've had these pillows forever. They're waterproof. You know, they're outdoor pillows. I got them at Walmart years ago. And the flag kind of matches, but it doesn't match the garland that I have here. So I don't know. I may move the flag somewhere else. But if you remember from any of my other garden videos, this entire patch of Celosia is all self-seeded. I have not planted any of it here. And because I do let it go to seed, then it just self-seeds itself. And it usually starts coming up all over the garden, actually. And I just allow it to stay in this section. So, and I allow it to stay for the bees. And I do use some of it, and I dry some of it. But I allow it mostly to stay for the bees. You can see the bee activity. I'm not sure. Yeah, there they are. And the butterflies love it as well. So once the frost hits, I'll just take it all out. And as I said, I spent a little bit more money than I usually do for fall annuals. These will fill in nicely. They'll last. Pansies do fairly well over the winter for me. Of course, the Celosia there will not. The ornamental kale and cabbage will really not last too well for me. I just wanted more flowers. And this is the cookies and cream perennial hibiscus from Proven Winners we planted, doing really well. There's some seedlings, as you can see. I think that is saponaria, or it is forget-me-nots coming there that I've just they've self-seeded over the years. So I put some more pansies in here. There's my hose hydrant and all of my timers and so forth. Here's another pretty little bed. This is just as you come in the garden, and I'm really enjoying this one. This Celosia definitely will not last past a frost, but I have another probably a month before all that happens. So you can see all of the marigold there that I bought for here. I love this one. And it didn't have a tag, so I'm not sure what color that is. But all that will fill in over the next couple of weeks. And I'm very fortunate to be able to shop at some Amish and Mennonite-run greenhouses, and their prices are so affordable. So that's why I went a little bit overboard on my fall annuals. This is forget-me-nots, Chinese forget-me-nots that I'm just a seed sower. I sow seeds everywhere. So that's just from some of my seed sowing. A few more pansies. Don't you just love the faces and the colors of the pansies? Ah, and an ornamental cabbage there. This bed had all of my lisianthus this year. And there's one lisianthus left that kept on blooming. So I said, well, you can stay. The rest of them were done. But I found this real pretty petunia here, a little mounding petunia with the fall colors. I found it at Walmart, and I wish I had gotten several more. I just picked up the one. So that's going to be really pretty. And then another little container of some more pansies. This is an Agastache here. It's a perennial in the center. Let me pull out. I've got in my pocket which one that is. It's from Proven Winners. It is meant to be Royal Raspberry Agastache, and there you go. You can see that. So that's a perennial there, and that will overwinter for me, or it should, in this container. This is a dwarf butterfly bush here, and I'm hoping it will work for this container. I wanted to stop for a minute and talk about the butterfly bush. I know it can be a little bit controversial. When I became a certified pollinator habitat, that was one of the invasives that they did not want me to have in my garden space. But because I had so many natives, And not only here on the farm, but I had planted so many natives. I felt okay with having butterfly bushes. I have 2 dwarf buddleia in my perennial garden, and they are sterile here in Virginia for me. But in some states, they are actually, because they are an invasive, they are actually against the law to plant them. But not here in my state. I've recently written an article for a magazine that I write for about planting natives on the homestead and in your gardens. And I did bring up the subject of the buddleia, the butterfly bush. And there is some speculation, I guess. I don't know whether it might be more than speculation, that the butterfly bush is not a true source of nectar for butterflies. Now, that's kind of a controversial statement to me because so many of us do. I see one of my granddaughter is weed eating around her garden. Anyway, it's kind of a controversial statement because so many of us do have butterfly bushes. So you take that all with a grain of whatever salt and do your own research and decide for yourself if you are allowed to have butterfly bushes in your state, or if they sell the type that are not invasive. And then you can decide if you want to grow them. But I felt okay because I have this one in a container, and I have the other 2. They're not invasive. They don't spread. So I felt fine because I have so many other natives to balance out what they are calling invasives. And if we're really fortunate, we'll see the 2 monarchs that are still here. But these are my dahlias that I've showed you. This is Pooh, Dahlia Pooh, and this one is Pooh. Looks like Pooh Bear. Look at the B on there. And this one is Cornell. So they did get hit by a windstorm, even though I thought I had them staked well enough. They got hit by a windstorm and broke off at least half of them. This is the new little English cottage garden we planted together, and it's doing really well. You can see how the Echinacia has faded a little bit, but the Agastache is doing great. And this luminary pink phlox here, if I need to deadhead them because I think I'm even going to get some more blooms, I can really highly recommend this. You can see there is no powdery mildew on them, and they've just kept on blooming. And if I was more diligent to deadhead them a little better, I think I'd have even more blooms. I am very, very pleased with how they've done. I've got the tag in my little pouch here. Let me take it out. It's called Lightning Pink, or Luminary Pink Lightning, and it's a perennial phlox. So yeah, isn't that so pretty? And it's just doing so well. You can see here the milkweed that I have 2 milkweed plants that this one, the monarch caterpillars, ate completely, except for that 1 or 2 leaves. This is a bud here that's going to open up, and the seeds I'll scatter the seeds around a little bit to try to get a couple more in here. Here's another cute little vignette that I planted up with some fall flowers and my little solar fountain. Even though it's really overcast today, it's so fun to walk in here and hear the water. I have 2 of them. I have the one that I still could not get this bird bath level, but it's fine. Anyway, I have those, and when I walk in the garden, I hear those 2 little solar fountains. It's a lot of fun. Here's another view of the Celosia. I mean, is that like wild or what? A few strawberries in there, and this trailing verbena kind of really lulled, and then about a week ago, it just started picking up to bloom again. So I said, you can stay. You can see where I had the dwarf sunspot sunflowers. Was a huge mistake, as we talked about in past videos. I will not grow those again in this space, and this is where both of these dahlias got broken and in the windstorm. So that one is Diva, and this one is Milena Fleur. But I tell you, dahlias are so resilient. Look at that. Look how they've come back even though the plants are a little bit sparse looking. Let me get a closer shot of Diva. I mean, Diva is a diva in a good way. So pretty. And it dries really well. You can see my Benares giants are just about ready to be taken out. I'm leaving them just for the straggler butterflies that are hanging around. I love Benares giants, one of my favorite zinnias to grow. But they get all wonky and they get diseased, a little bit diseased. Not bad, but somewhat diseased. Oh, look there. Hello. Hi, beautiful. Can you see it? Ah, that's a male. Yeah, that's a male. You can see the spot, little two spots on the bottom of his wings. That's a male monarch. Oh, what a treat. Thanks for being here, monarch. But you need to move on down south a little bit, I'm thinking. But I've really enjoyed this space here. These are just a little bedding dahlias that I picked up somewhere. I don't even think they had a name. They need to be deadheaded. But sometimes they're just absolutely covered in blooms. And then, of course, I always plant lantana in my garden space and salvia. And so I've really enjoyed this space so much. You can see my potting bench there. Love it, use it all the time. And it was really nice to have this umbrella over the hot summer days when the sun was out here and I was making bouquets or whatever I was doing. It's nice to have that to be able to open up. One of the things that I've learned about myself this year in doing ornamental gardening, I'm not talking about vegetable gardening, but one of the things I've learned is that I don't love cutting flowers. I don't know what's come over me, whether this is just the way I've always been or whether it's something new, but I enjoy them being out. Now, of course, I deadhead because if you don't deadhead stuff, then you won't continue to get blooms. But I've learned that I would rather come out here and just walk around, do whatever, pull weeds, deadhead, and see everything blooming in the garden than I would them blooming in my house. Now, I do cut some bouquets for different people if they need a bouquet, or if I feel the Lord leading me to give someone a bouquet, I will cut a bouquet of flowers. And I have many, many videos here on my channel about cut flowers, me growing cut flowers. I feel like I will always grow a certain amount of cut flowers going forward, but maybe this year I didn't grow nearly the amount of cut flowers that I have grown in the past, and I didn't do the bed turnover like the different succession of crops that I normally did for cut flowers. So I really gave myself a break. I really said I just want to enjoy my garden space, and even if I'm just have the budget and am planting some annuals, not from seed. I try to plant things from seed, and I do a lot of especially winter sowing in the winter sowing method. But even if I'm just planting some annuals that I know that will keep going a pretty good amount of time, then I decided that I wanted to do that and enjoy my garden space a little bit more than I had been with the amount of cut flowers that I was producing, which was quite a bit for a non-flower farmer. So I've really given myself a lot of freedom in the garden this year, and I have enjoyed it immensely. And I just wanted to share that with you. Maybe you're thinking the same thing, like, oh, I just want to enjoy my garden. I don't want to have to think about, oh, these flowers are going to waste because I'm not cutting them or whatever. Just enjoy them. I think we'll wrap it up here. I'm not sure how long this video will end up being after editing, but I hope you enjoyed being here with me. I certainly do enjoy just seeing all the color, all the bees, all the butterflies, and sitting here just soaking in all the beauty around me. So please chat with me in the comments. Tell me what's going on in your gardens and in your life if you'd like to share with me. Until next time, friends, happy gardening. Bye-bye. Here's another view of the monarch. Try to get a little bit closer because I don't see the spots on the wings of that one. Is that a male or a female? That might be the same one we were looking at. It's hard to tell when they're flying around like that.